Goblin. Goblin who? Goblin your face off.
Hey there! Welcome back to Michael Howe Arts. I'm Michael, and today we've reached the end of an era. The era of my 4 Gobtober drawings. This is indeed the final video for drawings of Gobtober from 2025. What is Gobtober? Gobtober is an event created by Odd Artworks, who created a prompt list of words to go with goblins, and then the idea was you take those words and draw goblins inspired by them. I did drawings for all the words, and this is the culmination where you get to see the time lapses of all of them being created. If you're interested in seeing the other videos, then those are going to be listed down below, and I'll have the playlist also in the end cards. So, time to watch the last set of goblins. The first prompt in this set was dragon. So I was trying to figure out what would be a good combination of a dragon, which are often viewed as like big things, and a goblin, which are kind of these small creatures of fantasy worlds often. Man size or smaller. So I was picking and choosing. I feel like what I came up with was, I think someone else gave this word to it, was imp. I wasn't sure what another combination of it would be. But I think it's a fun little creature design. I don't know if it feels goblin-y, but that's what you get sometimes with prompts. You get something you may not have been looking for, or following an idea might be something different than what you're looking for. But there it is. All right, champion. This one is fun to see again. I think it's one of my favorites from the whole set. I honestly don't remember what exactly prompted it, but I know that I like soldiers and, flags carrying. I was maybe in the middle of... Oh, I'd been getting into Warhammer stuff, so like the standard like that was something I've been thinking of. I'm not sure why I added the little mouse rodent guy to the side, but I felt like it could be fun to have, like, he's the champion of an army, but the army isn't all goblins. So what I like about this is both, I think the composition comes together well, but I really like the inking and his facial expression. There's just like a little bit of an energy to it that I really like, and I'm glad I pulled off. I don't know what he's challenging or not, but he fights for whatever this is. For them. Elemental. This one, as far as an idea went, I went very straightforward. I was thinking of a fire elemental, so just drew it as if it was like a goblin human torch. So took a figure, put it in a flying pose, and then spent time drawing flames around it. Curling and trying to do a combination of where you can see the body in it, but also that the flames are just kind of around it. So straightforward, though not necessarily easy. But there's a bonus one with this, because I thought it would also be fun to show it like glowing. I liked the line work on the drawing, but I also wanted to show like the lighting effects. So that's what this part is. Experimenting with different ways to show like bits of fire and sparks coming off of it. Tinkering with how the line art should look. All right, pest. This one is funny. I forget the sequence of this. I remember asking friends like what the goblins should be wearing, because I had been doing kind of standard fantasy-esque stuff before. But I asked some friends, and they gave like a funny little combination of things to make this creature. I don't remember why it was a mummy. I really don't remember why he's poking a mummy, but it still makes me chuckle when I see it. And like his facial expression there, and just the motion and action of it amuses me. So this is another one I like. Drawing all the little wrappings. Maybe the friend suggested the mummy? I don't remember. But he's like marching, and this little guy just comes up and is like, "Ah, I gotcha." Yeah, I really like how this turned out. I like the mummy. The mummy looks really good, and the goblin is silly. Hermit. So this one I did several things. I don't quite remember all the details, but there's actually a classical painting. That's a very broad word. It's probably not actually classical. There's a painting of a hermit in a room in the dark with, I believe, lots of books. So I took inspiration of that for this piece, kind of like what he looked like. And I think the hummingbird is a symbol of truth or hunting for things. I know I put the bird in there for a reason. I don't quite remember what it is. And then a lantern searching for things. Combined lots of elements and tried to match some of the mood of the painting. So I think that one's kind of fun. Different, but fun. Lore Keeper. This one, I've been doing this a lot with these, but it was like a lot of just like plopping in little blobs of paint and then using that as the reference to build stuff out. I forget why. There's a lot of that in this video. I mean, it was, months ago. Anyway, I had the idea that what if the goblins kept their lore on stone tablets rather than in books or just in memory. So I created the idea of this little library that this person climbs up and finds the books from, and I don't know, has like a little helmet and amulet that show the role of lore keeper. And there's also a chisel and hammer and nails to like carve new records. I think I made steel-toed boots because you don't want stone tablets falling on your feet. So I just created like a tiny little idea of mythology for this goblin. And then there's all the tablets in the background. Cursed. This one it's just silly, but honestly, sometimes that's the best thing to do for little drawings. I like when I can laugh at a drawing. So Cursed, I believe I looked up in like a D&D source book or like a third-party thing for types of curses you can have. And it was, swapped hands and feet. So I, turned it around. His feet are there. His feet are where his arms are, and his arms are where his feet is. And so just kind of drew that. It was straightforward. Also, there's a duck wizard. Whether he is the thing that transformed him or something else, I'm not sure, but it's fun. Pumpkin, the final one. So this one, I remember asking some coworkers what they thought would be a good illustration or drawing to have for the prompt of pumpkin and goblins. So the answer was basically, a bunch carving a pumpkin. And it was fun. There's the little guy. There's sketching in all these things. So it's definitely a more complex scene than I think any other that I've done on here. in this set. Well, there's also 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 goblins plus the pumpkins. And I wanted the scene to make sense and be readable. Yeah, zoomed in on the goblins as I worked on them so you can see them better because there are so many. And they're all just, happily working away. Making jack-o'-lanterns. I guess the question is whether these are tiny goblins or giant pumpkins. I kind of like the idea of giant pumpkins. But I'm not sure. What do you think? Also, why do goblins like pumpkins? What about pumpkins appeals to them? The one who's just climbing in through the mouth to get out the goop and the seeds. I feel a little bad that I covered that one's face, but that's how the pose worked. And you can see the faces of other ones, so it's not like there's no characters with faces. Some seeds and mush. Tinkering up with some of the lines. And then the one little guy in the back, working on a different one, proudly or struggling to lift the lid of the pumpkin. Is that what you call? Yeah, it's a lid, right? Carved out lid. Just tuning up some of the lines and the shading, and there we go. Pumpkin. And there you have it. The last of the Gobtober drawings. I hope you enjoyed them. Let me know which was your favorite, what stood out to you, anything you have questions on. Also, I am planning to compile these into a small book and publish that. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out for it and let me know. I also have books of various swords I've done, as well as some skull designs, and those are available for purchase. The link is down below, and I just want to thank everyone who's already got those. I really appreciate it. With that, it's all for today. I hope to see you next time. Have a wonderful time, and keep drawing. Bye. Hey there. Yeah. 2025, as I am posting it in June 2026. And draw goblins connected to them. I